Once again, Japanese is not my first language, so I do apologize if I mispronounce any words. I'm going to do my very best. Now, to briefly recap our first two episodes, we explored the life of Sosai Matsutatsu Oyama and his rigorous training in the martial arts. Knowing from an early age that the martial arts were his destined path, he dedicated his full effort to becoming one of the toughest fighters known in karate history. He began training in Chinese and Korean Kempo, and then later became proficient in boxing, judo, earning the 4th Dan black belt, Shotokan, earning the 4th Dan black belt, Goju-ryu, where he also earned a 7th Dan black belt, and he eventually became a 10th Dan in his own system of Kyokushin. Oyama was as tough as they come, spending a collective 32 months training in the Japanese mountains in solitude and establishing the 100-man kumite, a harsh battle of endurance in which a challenger enters a freestyle, bare-knuckle, full-contact sparring session for 100 consecutive rounds. And that's each round lasting 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. Now, Masayama himself completed this challenge 3 days in a row, competing in and emerging victorious in 300 kumite matches. Now, this helped Kyokushin garner a lot of respect and attention. To this day, the 100-man kumite challenge still exists and has been performed and completed by only a handful of people. As an example of the hard work required to complete the 100-man kumite challenge, I highly recommend checking out 100-man Fight on YouTube, and I have included the link in the description. This video documents the challenge undertaken by Kyokushin champion Shihan Judd-Reed, who completed the 100-man kumite in 2011. This documentary gives a great insight into his karate training as a teenager, his time as an uchideshi, or live-in student, under the direct training of Masayama himself, and his full commitment to the challenge. If Kyokushin means ultimate truth, then Shihan Judd-Reed is a true embodiment of the meaning, becoming one of only a few who have completed the challenge. I also recommend Shihan's book, The Young Lions, which documents his 1,000 days learning under a karate legend. You can find that link in the description as well. The kumite rules in Kyokushin are usually unpadded, though sometimes protective headgear may be used by some organizations. Punches to the head, face, and neck are usually prohibited. However, strikes to the body, such as kicks, punches, elbows, knees, are all fair game. Even kicks to the head are usually allowed. Its influence can be seen in other arts as well, and is considered one of the first leaders in the competition of knockdown karate. Many styles that began in Kyokushin and branched off to their own organizations continue the tradition, and many other arts have also drawn influence and compete with the same format. Masayama went up the mountain to become one of the best martial artists, and he came down a leader and a pioneer. Unfortunately, as with many martial arts systems, Kyokushin is not without its politics. As I've said in many previous videos, the purpose of this channel is not to get too political or take any sides, but rather offer an objective view and overview of some scenarios. Now, while I have not experienced the depths of Kyokushin politics firsthand, I know many of our viewers have. So we're going to take a quick overview of generally what happened within the Kyokushin community in a world without Oyama. Masayama passed away at the age of 70 in 1994. What is very unfortunate to the art is that he did not appoint a successor to take his place and lead the IKO, or International Karate Organization. In his absence, he left a power vacuum in which many senior students sought to take the reins and lead. Now, this part I can relate to. In my own art of American Kempo, Grandmaster Ed Parker passed away and similarly left no appointed leader, which resulted in Kempo splitting apart into multiple factions and a wide array of organizations that still continue to splinter and divide today. Now, division and independence isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it often comes with bad blood, animosity, and conflicting egos, and when that happens, it can become toxic, regardless of what art it occurs in. In Masayama's passing, Kyokushin was left without an established leader. Some claimed to be the rightful leader, and they all sought to take over the IKO, while others decided to branch off to their own organizations and just name themselves the head of their own groups. When this happened, any organization that laid claim to the name International Karate Organization, they were known by the Kyokushin community by either a number, such as IKO 1, IKO 2, and so on, or sometimes by the name of the head official. Shokei Matsui was born on January 15, 1963, and he began to train in Kyokushin at the age of 13. He quickly took to the art, and he became highly proficient in it, and achieved the rank of 1st Dan after only a year. He then went on to earn many placements in tournaments, including first place in the All Japan Open Karate Championships in 1985, 86, and in 1987 he won the 4th World Open Karate Tournament, becoming the youngest competitor ever to become champion in the event. He also completed Oyama's 100-man kumite in 1986 as 4th Dan, and his achievements and skills were noticed by Oyama himself. He opened his own school in 1992 in Tokyo, and he was later promoted to branch chief by Oyama. In addition to his martial arts skill, he had a shared Korean ethnicity with Oyama. Now, here's where the controversy comes in. Upon Masayama's death, the community looked for a new leader. Events that followed have been debated, but some say that Oyama had wanted to appoint Matsui as the new head of the IKO. Oyama's family and Matsui himself dispute this, but it has also been said that his name may have been mentioned in Oyama's will. Matsui was reportedly surprised that he was considered, and this caused a major rift among the Kyokushin community. Many senior officials felt disgruntled and insulted that such a young leader was appointed before them. Many of them decided to break off and form their own organizations. IKO-2 was originally established by Yukio Nishida, but leadership has since changed hands, with the current leader being Midori Kenji, a champion of the World Tournament himself, and he renamed the organization to the World Karate Organization Shin Kyokushin3. Now, we could spend an entire video series exploring each of these organizations in depth as they continue to splinter further, with IKO-3, IKO-4, and so on. For more information on these organizations, there is a link below in the description. Now, these are all the Japanese-based organizations operating within the name International Karate Organization. A few other Japanese organizations, such as the WKO, branched off as well, and also there's many non-Japanese groups. It is unfortunate and sad to see such a state of disagreement and break in the martial arts community. I'd be really curious to know any viewpoints from our viewers on the topic. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there and with a lot of perspectives, so please feel free to discuss in the comments below. I just ask that you keep it civil. There are many styles of karate that exist today that have branched off of Kyokushin, much like Kyokushin is derived from many other arts itself. We couldn't possibly list them all here, but these are just some of the larger ones that are pretty well known. Ashihara Kaikan Karate. In 1980, Hideyuki Ashihara, a former Kyokushin karate student of Masutatsu Oyama, branched off on his own. In doing so, he established his own style of karate, calling it the New International Karate Organization Ashihara Kaikan Karate. At his new organization, he established himself as the head with its world headquarters in Matsuyama City, Japan. Saido Kaikan Karate is yet another style that finds its origins within Kyokushin Karate. It was developed and established by Kazuyoshi Ishii, a former practitioner of Kyokushin Karate, under the formerly mentioned founder of Ashihara Karate. This style was also established in 1980 with its headquarters in Osaka, Japan, with Kazuyoshi Ishii himself as head of his own organization. He is also famous for establishing the world-famous K1 World Grand Prix kickboxing circuit, where all styles of stand-up fighting could compete under a single, unified, semi-Muay Thai, essentially Kyokushin Karate fighting rules with boxing gloves. As such, all stand-up fighting arts of karate, kickboxing, Muay Thai, it also included Kung Fu, Kempo, Taekwondo, as well as boxing, all eligible to compete. Daido Juko Karate, today more commonly known by its abbreviated name as Kudo, is a style that emerged from Kyokushin Karate as well. It was founded by Takashi Azuma as its leader in 1981. Now, he is a former karate student as well as a Judo third dan black belt. What makes this style interesting and unique is that it actually combines the striking elements of Kyokushin Karate, but also adds the throws, submissions, restraints, joint locks, strangleholds, and the ground fighting of Judo. It could be referred to as a mixed martial art with the karate gi, along with gloves and protective headgear. Kudo is currently being practiced in 52 countries in the world, with Russia as its largest representative. Enshin Kaikan Karate is once again a style of full contact karate that was created by Joko Ninomiya, again a former Kyokushin practitioner as well as a former student of Ashihara. Enshin Karate, with its lineage both in origin of Kyokushin and Ashihara Karate, became a style in its own right, with its world headquarters in Denver, Colorado, USA. It is typically a full contact style of stand-up fighting with striking techniques of Kyokushin, punches, knees, kicks, elbows, leg sweeps, as well as numerous grabs and throws associated with Judo. There are many schools that have roots in Kyokushin, which just goes to show you how influential the style really is. In a related note, recently in the news, there was an incident in North Carolina in which a large man attempted to kidnap a woman. Now, he tried to grab her and pull her into his car. She was able to escape and she ran for help and sought refuge inside a local karate school. The man decided to go in after her. Now, the dojo staff quickly realized that he didn't belong as the woman pleaded for help and the man insisted. The instructor then asked him to leave, and after some words, he was able to get the man outside, but once they were outside, the man attacked him. The assailant was then taken to the hospital with injuries. So when I first heard about the story, I was immediately curious as to what style the school was. And the article mentioned it was a Bushiken Karate Charlotte Dojo. Now, I was not familiar with Bushiken, so I looked up the school's website, and sure enough, it is a Kyokushin spin-off. No wonder he went to the hospital. So it's really amazing sometimes to see just how far and wide the influences of a martial art can spread and grow over time. Kyokushin also has a very strong presence in media and entertainment. Many notable movie stars such as Dolph Lundgren and Michael Jai White are practitioners of the art. Several years ago, the Discovery Channel had a show called Fight Quest, in which two martial artists would tour around the world and they would spend 2 weeks in a new location. They would work in a dojo, they would learn the art, discover their culture, and then they would compete in a short competition to kind of test what they learned. It was a really fascinating show, and one of their best episodes, in my opinion, was the one on Kyokushin. It was a really good one, and I recommend looking it up on YouTube. Kyokushin can even be found in many video games. For example, one of the characters in the Tekken fighting series has a Kyokushin background and can even be spotted performing katas during demonstration modes of the game. It is also said that the characters of Ken and Ryu in Street Fighter use Kyokushin techniques, but I'd be curious to hear from viewers if you agree with that or not. Additionally, there's a relatively new game called Karate Master Knockdown Blow that, despite the odd name, is clearly based and inspired by Kyokushin. And that concludes our series on the history of Kyokushin Karate. I really hope you all enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed learning about it. This is such an incredibly durable art that offers a little bit of everything. It has roots in traditional Okinawan and Japanese arts. It has powerful strikes, speed, incredible conditioning, and endurance. It has the practical application of real combat, and it has a very strong sense of respect, discipline, and family. Masoyama sought to become one of the best martial artists in the world, and he ended up establishing a powerful and ever-growing foundation for many generations yet to come. If you are still interested in more information about Masoyama or Kyokushin, I have listed several references below in the description. And once again, in closing, I would like to thank Sensei Juan Ferentino Iorio for his help and assistance in putting this project together. Os.